So this is Matthew 12 and verse 46. It says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, meaning outside, desiring to speak with him. Verse 47. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. Verse 48. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother, and who are my brethren? Verse 49. And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold my mother and my brethren. Right? Because what happened is we are conditioned to believe in a certain perspective, perception of what family really is. Right? And we equate that just to our blood brothers, people who we are related by blood, by the dam in Adam. Right? The human side, right? But that is not what family really is. Family, it says in verse 50. Let's read it. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. So your family, right, are the people who you share the same moral principles and standards and values with, right? So you can have a very close friend, you do a lot of things together, but guess what? You don't value the same things. So you have to be careful, right? Because what people value is very, very important. And this is the same when you're building a relationship, right? Because if what you value is not what your partner values, then you're gonna have a lot of contradiction, a lot of problems, because values, we all have values, but we need to share them in common. So once we start keeping the principles and standards of the Bible, guess what? That is no longer part of our human nature, but it is the spirit. So that is when you become one. That is when you're a family. You have the same thought process. You process thoughts the same way. You look at reality the same way. Right? So it's very important for us to understand the family as opposed to what we've been taught that a family should be. This is why most times people get disappointed by family, are broken by family, are betrayed by family. We say, oh, how can this person do this to me? He's my brother, he's my father, he's my son. She's my mother, she's my sister. How many times this happened? A lot of times, right? I'm from the Caribbean. A lot of people left, go abroad to work, just to make better opportunities, and they have to trust probably a family member back here to do things for them. How many times this is why a lot of them, when they go over there, they don't want to deal with family members here. And I can understand. The only thing is that if you're doing that without giving a chance, right? So for people who it had happened to, I can understand from their standpoint why they don't really deal with family members out here, right? It's different from if a person just go abroad and just don't trust, period. You know what I mean? So it is, again, like I said, the values, because you cannot be in a foreign country sending money to your family members to do things that you never had before, you guys never did before. Probably you are the first one in the family to do that, right? And they do things that they do, right? So again, like I said, you do transactions, you do things with people who value the same things as you, right? Who share the same moral principles as you. So it's the same when getting into a relationship. If you value loyalty, honesty, but the other person doesn't, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have problem with the truth. If he doesn't value honesty or she doesn't value honesty, right? So these are things we have to establish first before we get to a certain point with people. And it doesn't matter who the person is, but it's very important for us to change the perception that we have of family, that it means people who we are related by blood. And as it says in verse 50, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father. So it is that relationship by spirit. Spirit meaning your values, your standards, your principles, your morals, all of those things. Shalom.